it's Noor and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're going to talk about signs that you are a woman child. And it pretty much means what it says. You know, I don't really need to explain it to you guys. It's just, you're a woman child. Women child, they don't go along. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get into it. The first sign that you're a woman child is you're emotionally immature. And you may be asking yourself, what does that mean? Well, it pretty much means you don't know how to control your emotions effectively. If something comes up, instead of taking a step back to analyze the situation and figure out how you're gonna deal with it, you just directly react out of emotion. You get super defensive. You may react aggressively. You may start shouting. And if somebody tries to give you a feedback, you just immaturely respond. Like, you don't really take feedback in a positive way. And that is very wrong, because here's the thing about someone giving you feedback, especially if it's from a successful person or somebody that actually has their shit together. Well, if you're not able to take feedback from others and assess yourself and reflect on how you're reacting to situations and how you can actually start reacting in a better way, then you're never going to be able to grow. You're never going to be able to handle situations in a mature way, in the proper way. And that is a really big sign of you just being an immature woman. You struggle to learn from your mistakes in order for you to grow. You know, you take everything negatively. You may take it personal over everything, not realizing that when you actually look at the situation and realize that, oh yeah, like, I shouldn't have acted that way, or next time I shouldn't be doing that, you know, I should take that into consideration, learn from it so that next time it doesn't happen. Well, you think that the other person is attacking you. So this is something to really watch out for. You know, and if you don't want to be that type of woman, you have to be able to navigate your emotions very gracefully. You have to be able to control your emotions. I get it. We as women, we are sensitive. You know, we are emotional. But at the end of the day, don't let your emotions live you. Because something about people that can't control themselves, they're considered as weak. Because if you're put in a room with somebody that can control their emotions, well, guess what? Even if you're trying to have a small debate, he's gonna win because he's got his emotions in check and he's gonna be able to speak to you from a logic perspective. Another sign you're a woman child is you've got a fear of commitment. You tend to avoid serious relationships, and that is perhaps maybe you've had bad experiences in the past. But here's the thing with that is that you're gonna be missing out on actually having genuine relationships. It's like you're letting your past dictate your future. You're letting your past have so much effect on your present moment, which if you really think about it, if that's how you're gonna live your life, then you're gonna miss out on so many amazing opportunities. So if you're the type of person that always like hesitates to step into a serious relationship, hesitate to take things serious, and you kind of feel overwhelmed by the idea of like actually committing to someone or settling down, well, this means that you're not there yet. You're not the woman you are meant to be. Because if you really want to be your highest self, you shouldn't have a fear of anything, because that fear is stopping you from actually experiencing something new. Something that you've never experienced, an experience that might lead you to places you've never thought of. And for those of you who are saying, well, what if I actually don't want to get into a serious relationship? Well, that's fine, but at least don't be led by your fear. At least take that choice because you just don't want to, not because, oh, you don't want that person to hurt you or you don't know how that's gonna turn out. Like, don't do that, because if you live your life in fear, that is no good. You should live your life with faith. Faith that everything's going to be all right. And even if things don't work out the way you planned to, at least you were able to navigate new experiences. So if you're that type of person, you need to snap out of it. You know, don't be afraid of anything. And if you feel like you've got trust issues and you don't want to commit right now, then work on yourself. You need to heal yourself and accept what happened to you and accept that it was just part of your experience, but make the decision to not take it with you, because you don't want to live your life carrying that past baggage. You know what I mean? So in order to be the woman that you are meant to be and let go of being a woman child, you need to stop being afraid of commitment. Another sign that you're a woman child is you tend to avoid adult responsibilities. And that stems from you having a lack of discipline. Pretty much, you're always procrastinating when it comes down to, let's say, paying your bills, even working, not being able to maintain relationships, like the list goes on. And you tend to always prioritize leisure over responsibility. It's like you don't want to take responsibility. You want those responsibilities to be put on another person, and you just want to, have fun. Or you just want to live your life, whatever you want to call it. Well, this is an obvious thing that you're a woman child. Because the thing about being a child is that you can't take responsibility. Whereas when you become an adult, no. You start to take responsibility. You become disciplined. You make sure that you get things done. You make sure that you've got life skills, like, for example, cooking, budgeting, or even cleaning. And I know maybe some of you are like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not married yet. Well, let's say you were actually expected to do those things. The question is, will you be able to? If, let's say, right now, you have to be in survival mode, will you be able to clean for yourself? Will you be able to cook for yourself, or will you starve? These are the things you need to ask yourself. And if you're not there yet, that's fine. But at least have the mentality of having the bare minimum skills. Because the thing about being a woman child is that you may try to avoid learning new things. Anything that adds to your personal development, you're not interested in it. So this is the issue. And if you don't want to be that type of person, you need to get to work. Because I'm telling you, being lazy, procrastinating, not being disciplined goes far beyond just having adult responsibilities. It's literally going to impact your future. It's going to dictate where you're going to be. Another sign that you're a woman child is you tend to depend on others. So you tend to rely so much on your parents, or let's say on your partner, in so many things. It doesn't even have to only be financially. It could even be emotional support. You just depend on other people to kind of, keep pushing you. Well, that is the biggest sign of immaturity, because it's like, why are you depending yourself on anybody? The only person you should depend on, of course, is God and yourself. You tend to have so much difficulty in actually making decisions for yourself. You always make sure that you need to ask that person or this person, You feel like you can't rely on yourself. And perhaps maybe this is a wake-up call for you. Since this is stemming from you not being able to rely on yourself, it means, are you actually keeping the promises you're making for yourself? If you say you're going to do something, are you actually doing it? If you say you're going to work out, let's say, are you actually working out? If you say you're going to start a new diet plan, are you actually doing it? If you said you're going to learn that new skill, you're going to look for another job, are you doing those things? Are you following what you said you're going to do? Because if you're not, then obviously you're not going to be able to rely on yourself. A thing with our brain is that it keeps track of everything. Unconsciously, you're going to be like, no. I can't depend on me, but okay, let me depend on another person that actually benefits me and that actually gives me good results. So this, you need to stop. Also, you tend to always live in fantasy world. You tend to escape reality through daydreaming or social media or unhealthy habits. It could be any unhealthy habit. I don't really need to list them for you guys, like smoking or drinking or just something unhealthy for yourself. And you do all of these to try to cope. You're not really doing anything that is helping you move forward. Actually, all you're doing is escape the miserable reality that you have. And so if you don't want to be that type of person, you need to start facing those challenges. The fact that you're trying to escape your reality, it means there's something that you don't like about it. So I'm here to tell you that you have the power to change your reality. Ask yourself, if let's say I don't like my financial situation, what can I do to get out of it? Start asking yourself these questions instead of escaping. Or if let's say you went through a breakup, instead of dwelling on it, making it your whole life and trying to escape what actually happened to you, accept the situation, accept that it was part of what you've experienced, and learn to let go. Stop living in fantasy worlds, stop escaping, because that's not doing you any favor. Face it. Be the type of person that faces challenges. Don't run from that, because guess what? The more you run from your pain, the more you run from your responsibilities, the more you run from your fears, they're gonna keep haunting you for the rest of your life. So be brave and be bold and make the choice to change your life, because you have the power to. You do. Another sign you're a woman child is you neglect personal growth. You tend to always resist change, and you tend to resist self-reflection. And you know what that does? That makes you miss out on so many amazing opportunities that literally may be next to you, but because you're too blinded by neglecting, you're too blinded by letting your ego rule over your life and thinking that you know it all and thinking that you don't need to change, you're good the way you are. This is gonna keep you stuck in the same position. You need to wake up and realize that you're not perfect. You need to start improving yourself, and you should stop resisting change. You should welcome change. If there's something you don't like about your situation, the biggest thing about it is change it and start actively seeking opportunities for self-improvement. Let's say you want to start living a healthy lifestyle. You know how you can seize opportunities? Research. Okay, where can I go to, let's say, a gym class? Or let's say you're not into that, but you want to start moving. You could be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to make a schedule to start running every single morning. I'm going to make a list of things I shouldn't be eating. If, let's say, you've been in a toxic relationship and it ended horribly, well, guess what? You need to reflect on yourself, see the things that didn't go well, so that the next time you jump into a relationship, you don't do the same mistake. And you definitely don't pick the same type of people, because perhaps those people were actually the reason to why you broke up. I'm telling you, you need to be able to always ask yourself, like, okay, how can I improve? Or perhaps, you know what, it could be even in friendships. Like, if let's say you got betrayed, or let's say, you know, somebody treated you badly, before you start blaming them, ask yourself, what did I do that made them think it was a good idea to treat me that way? You know what that's gonna do? Even if it wasn't your fault, it's gonna help you figure out where you actually went wrong. What are some of the things you can avoid for next time? What new boundaries you should start placing? And you cultivating that mindset will do you a really big favor in all the situations, in every single aspect of your life. Before you start pointing fingers, look at you. And if, let's say, you couldn't find an answer, well, then accept it. Accept that it was part of what you've experienced. Another sign you're a woman child, you start playing the victim card. Listen, especially if you've been hurt, it's totally normal to feel upset, to feel sad, to have this like urge to blame people, to start feeling bad for yourself. Like, these are all normal things, because at the end of the day, we're all humans. We all have emotions. But my advice to you, don't stay there for long. There's a mental state that I'm going to be explaining for you guys, and I've spoken about it in my previous videos, but I'm gonna repeat it because it's very important. It's called sense making. There are two types of people. If, let's say, there was a situation that happened, you've got one person that internalizes the situation internally, that starts feeling sorry for himself. You know, look at what happened to me. They did me wrong. Look at me. I don't deserve it. You know, they start to victimize themselves. They start to play the victim. And you've got another person that is instrumental, which means if a situation went wrong, instead of internalizing it and making it all about themselves, first of all, they analyze the situation. Okay, XYZ happened. Why did this happen? And how can I avoid it the next time? They are more mission focused. They're trying to get out of it. You know, fine, they accept that it happened. And I'm not telling you these people don't feel hurt. They do. But guess what? They don't stay there and they don't identify with what happened to them. So in order for you to not be a woman child, you need to be the second type of person, an instrumental person, a person that doesn't play the victim. Because if you're playing the victim, you're always going to be stuck and you're going to keep dwelling on the situation and you're going to internalize everything that happened to you. You're going to make it your identity, and chances are you're going to live with it for the rest of your life. So you don't want to do that. You've got more important things to do. Focus on the things that are going to serve you and accept that this happened and then move on. That's how you should move about life. Be an instrumental person. And matter of fact, I'm going to tell you right now, you see all these politicians, people who work in the Secret Service, people who are entrepreneurs, who have big businesses. They're very successful. Well, guess what? These are instrumental people because they don't let every single situation affect them internally. Another sign that you're a woman child is that you're stuck in your comfort zone. You tend to cling to what's familiar to you, whether that is a routine or even unhealthy relationships. You feel like, okay, since it's familiar to me, I'm used to that person, well, yeah, they need to stay close. Otherwise, you feel lost. You feel like, oh, how am I going to navigate life now? And that is because you are so caught up in being in your comfort zone that you're too scared to step out of it. You're too scared of the unknown that it's paralyzing you into making bad choices for yourself. And here's the truth about a person that stays in their comfort zone. They're never ever able to take risks. And what does that mean? They're never able to achieve big things. How do you expect yourself to achieve big things if you're always going to be stuck in your comfort zone? And do you actually really want to live a comfortable life? A life that is good enough? Or do you actually want to live an amazing, excellent life that is actually going to lead you to amazing places? Because guess what? I'm telling you right now, every single person watching this has potential. But it's up to you if you want to use your potential for greatness or if you're going to let fear stop you from achieving what you need to achieve. And the last sign that you're a woman child is you tend to use social media for validation. All you care about is, the likes. Oh, if I'm not getting enough likes, that means maybe the post isn't good enough, or, maybe they don't like me. You always try to externalize things instead of realizing that you're never going to be able to find your self-worth from people. The only way to find your self-worth is within. You need to realize and understand that you are already valuable. God has bestowed gifts on you. God has made you unique. God has given you things that nobody has. That's why you've got your own identity. But you know what you need to do? You need to realize those things. You need to look within and already feel blessed to be living, because some people didn't make it. Stop depending on social media for validation. Stop depending on men for validation. Stop posting your personal drama online or trying to share drama, because guess what? These are all negative things that are weighing you down. You need to be that type of person that understands that social media is a tool. Social media by no means dictates your worth. It doesn't. It's a false reality. Everybody literally posts their perfect pictures online. Nobody posts their struggles. Nobody. And this is coming from a person that has been using social media for a while, and I'm considered a content creator, apart from YouTube, because YouTube is like my favorite platform and I feel like I can actually be authentic with people. On Instagram, for example, it's all fake. It really, really is. So snap out of this mentality and stop depending your self-worth on others, because you're never going to be able to find it. Find your self-worth through God and find your self-worth from looking within. And yeah, everyone, with that being said, that brings us to the end of this video. Honestly, I hope you guys enjoyed and I hope you guys learned something new. If you want to see more videos, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And make sure to follow me on my socials to stay connected with me. And I will see you, my beautiful people, in my next video. Love you guys. Bye-bye.